Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about stippling. That's the armor effect on this model here. Before we start, just a couple of points. You can stipple most dark color palettes, so blue, greens, browns, greys are good. Yellows and reds and metallics, very tough to do. I wouldn't bother trying with those colors. It's quick, it's easy, it looks fairly complicated, but it's not, and it's a way to cover large portions of armor and make them look interesting rather than just a plain matte color. Like on this bad boy here. So, how did I do this? Well, let's rewind time and go back to the beginning. Starting off, paint the armor of the vehicle in the color that you want to use, so in this case, Dawnstone Grey, and then give it a wash. Shake your null and oil before you give it a wash, always give it a shake, and then slap it all over the vehicle. The wash will sink into all the cracks there, and you'll notice that the wash is quite blotchy in places. It doesn't matter, you don't have to make it smooth because the stippling will obliterate all that sort of stuff. Then you need a tired old brush like this to do the stippling. If you want to make a tired old brush like this, stick it in your paint and let it dry without cleaning it, and then batter all the paint off of it. And it'll soon look like this. Chop half of the bristles off. Get some paint on your brush. Get some paint off of your brush and then start dabbing it over the surface of the armor, just like that. How much paint do you want to keep dabbing on it? Well, in places like here, I've put on quite a lot of grey, and in other places around here, I'm leaving some of the dark color shining through. So this is going to be lighter, this is going to be darker. You want an uneven effect when you stipple. And continue with that process all over the armor plates, all over the surface of your model. It doesn't have to be pretty at this stage, just get it on there. So this portion is now done. You can now see some heavy bits here and places where I've left gaps. Don't go into the cracks, don't go into the edges down here. You leave them dark. Couple more tips. Do not paint. Don't go up and down like a paintbrush. You're going in and out, up and down, up and down, up and down, like that. The more spread out and battered your paintbrush becomes, the better the effect will be. When you're looking at bits like this, where the metal's in the way and round the top, just shove it in there. You're going to get it on the metal that you painted before, and we'll go over the bits. We'll go over the metallic bits. Getting inside the cracks and crevices is a bit tricky. But we'll go over those bits again. Just keep going. As a general rule of thumb, if there's some really hard places to get into, like right under that bit here, or around the edges here, around that circular edge, if there's any parts of your model that are quite tricky to get to, don't bother getting to them. Stippling will leave an uneven armoured effect all over your model, and these bits that you can't get to will look uneven, and that'll look good. When you're done, it'll look something like this. Areas with just mainly grey, areas with some of the null oil poking through. Over the top it looks a bit like that. Haven't really spent too much time trying to get underneath and in and around everything. Then mix together the next layer on your palette. That's a white with the Dawnstone Grey, and you're looking for a 50-50 mix. It's going to be quite a transition, quite a jump in colour, but trust me, just a 50-50 mix is okay. And then keep doing what you were doing, and it will look really bright and scary. But this isn't the last layer, so don't be scared, just get it on there. And now that layer is done, the model looks like this. Multiple layers of colour are on the model. It's very bright though, so we need to add another layer. So to turn it down a little, go back to your original color palette, in this case the Dawnstone Grey, get it on your brush and start applying it to the model. In this case, however, only put it over about 50% of the armor plate. Start applying your artistic eye. The original layer and the bright white and grey layer, we put it over most of the model. This stuff, we're just using it to fill in the gaps and tone down the lightness. So for example, I'm pretty satisfied with the front plate there. I think that's toned down enough. There's a few more dabs here or there. So there's grayer in some areas and lighter and darker. You can see it's lighter and darker here, grayer there. So it's uneven. And that's that front plate done pretty much. I need to do these edges, but that's stippling. That's how you do it. Now I've put the grey back over the entire surface of the plates. It's entirely stippled. Obviously you've got to tidy up the armour and finish this model off, but there's one more thing you need to do. Put white dots on all the rivets and highlight the edges of your armour plate. Give it a white dry brush on all of these edges here. It'll make the stippling pop. It'll make the edges of the armour pop. Job done. And here's the finished model. Stippling done all over. Magnetized weapons ready to bring about death and destruction to the enemies of the Imperium. So thank you very much for watching this video and happy wargaming.